Hi there, Golf Fanatics. Andrew Rice, Director of Instruction at the Western Savannah Harbor Resort. And today we're talking that trajectory. Can you control the trajectory with those crisp iron strikes? You're going to get some help today. And so as you can tell, Golf Fanatics, we're out here on the 16th hole at Savannah Harbor, and it's a fairly long par 4. We've got quite a challenging approach shot, one where we've got some wind in our face, we've got to keep that trajectory down. Ultimately, we've got to control, we've got to manage the trajectory. And so a little information, a little background I want to share with everyone before we get going here. And it's, let's understand that a ball's peak height, the height that a ball will get off the ground, not its launch angle, the highest peak height it'll attain during its ball flight is a product of two things. It is not just purely loft at impact. It's a combination of loft and speed. And the higher the player's club speed, the less loft they need. The slower a player's club speed, the more loft they need. Because when I hit my golf ball and it takes off at 120 miles an hour with a 7-iron, it keeps going up for a fairly long time. If someone else hits a 7-iron and the ball takes off at the same launch angle, but it only launches at 90 miles an hour, now that golf ball is not going to reach the same peak height. And so we need to find a way to be able to regulate this dynamic, the loft, they call it dynamic loft is the fancy term, this loft of the club at impact. And so a great little sense that I'd love for everybody to have is just grab a 7-iron and hold it out in front of you the next time you're practicing, or maybe even as you're watching this. Hold it out in front of you, and I want you to turn the face down. Let's close the face 30 degrees. Now I want you to push the handle forward, push your hips forward to the point where that face gets back to vertical. Okay, that's an exercise that's going to give us a sense of where we need to be at impact, and that's going to allow us, if I take that down to impact, that's going to allow us to de-loft the club. We want to take the loft on that club face, which I know for this particular iron, this Ping I-210 that I'm hitting, has 33 degrees of loft, I believe. We're going to take that down all the way, certainly depending on how much we need. But I know this, in this scenario, I'm looking to hit that little lower shot with more compression, with more control. How can I bring the loft down? Here's how we're going to go about it. Setting up. My stance is going to be slightly narrower, and keep in mind I carry a 6-iron right around 164 yards. Carry. I am not going to do this for a 164-yard 7-iron. Anytime I change my setup or I reduce my swing, certainly if I reduce the trajectory, the height of the shot, it's going to carry shorter. So this is not for a full distance type approach shot here. So I'm going to narrow my stance. I move the ball slightly further back. You can see that slightly further back in my stance. My weight is favoring my front foot. And as I come into the golf ball, I want to have a sense that my handle, my hands are well in front of that ball. If I do that, let me hit one more here. If I do that, you'll certainly gain an idea as to what the trajectory is going to do here. It's going to come down. We're going to get a little extra sizzle into this golf ball. Let's give this a go. Watch. And I hope you can see that. That is absolutely laser beamed right at it. I need to, oh, it's about, it's 2 or 3 feet from the hole. I love that. Okay, nice little laser beam in there. How did I do that? I'm setting up slightly narrower, weight a little bit more forward. I'm bringing the loft down, and this is a shot, particularly if you're a player that struggles with these high, weak iron shots and you hit those floaty irons with lots of spin. I want you to practice this, because if you can start to get a sense of almost a little bit of a 9 to 3, what does that mean? 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock type approach. That's going to help us compress the golf ball more and do a better job with managing the trajectory, particularly should we be out there playing in the wind or we just need to bring that shot down. Okay, I hope this information helps. If you have any questions, please post them below. I'll respond to as many as I can.